Welcome to the Ringside Podcast. I'm Daniel Spencer.
Jeremy Wyman.
I'm Linda Kay.
And I'm Eric Cornish.
We got to get AJ McKay. He does a great job with our intro and all the other stuff he does at OVW. But I mentioned something to him about a week or so ago. I don't know, maybe Eric, maybe you can kind of, get on him a little bit. But we've got to get this intro updated to put your name back in it.
Well, I mean, I know somebody else who does that kind of stuff. So, I mean, if I've got to say my own name, I don't mind.
That is true. That is true. It would be odd though to be like hear AJ's name and then all of a sudden hear actually it might be kind of funny. Then all of a sudden you say your own name,
or you just say me.
It's me.
Me.
Man, I'm the
me.
me also.
Me also. Yeah. Hey guys. Anyways, thanks for listening and watching last week as we did our first video version. I got to look and we recorded a bunch of these. Eric, if you remember when Jeremy kind of took a leave back in during the pandemic, and it was just kind of me and you. We were doing like guest hosts and different stuff. I have all of those recorded and video. I just never put them up, and maybe one day I'll go back to. But other than that, that's pretty much we've done video, like we watch each other and see each other, but this was our that last episode was our first real experience, and it's kind of cool. And I appreciate everybody that watched it.
Well, considering that we never even really did it this way until COVID made us do it this way,
right.
we were in Jeremy's posh studio, many of the times. So,
does that studio still exist, Jeremy?
No, it doesn't.
No, I didn't think it did. Yeah,
it does not exist. The flood took it out, and then I went in the hospital and. Yeah, it's not been rebuilt yet. So
all right. Well, we've all got our own studios in our own home, and COVID did make us change that and change the way we do things. And but I never would have thought like having Linda as a co-host, back then, or even having Deanna on without being on a phone, sitting there, plugged in, which we did. We had Jeff Jarrett like plugged in on a phone call, like we had so many others like that too as well. They're plugged in. Al Snow, we actually went to OVW before TV and sat in his office and had everything plugged up, the mixer, and it was fine, but like we wouldn't do that today. We would just be like, all right, here's the link and let's log right in. It's wild.
Dude, Al had that. It makes me laugh every time you bring that up because I just remember JK sitting over there next to us about to pee his pants because he was so scared of Al. He asked Al a question that I guess Al thought was stupid.
About MJF, something. I remember he brought up MJF in the answer. Yeah. Yeah. He asked about, he asked JK back, what does he describe MJF for me in one sentence? And JK couldn't. So then he cut a promo on him. So
There's nothing more intimidating than you asking Al a question and he asks you one back. Even to this day, it's like, but I watched the deer in the headlights look at so many of the young wrestlers when he does that.
Right.
And I've gotten used to it, but now I know how to respond. And I'm sure, Linda, you know how as well. You just joke,
Oh yeah,
that usually works. Otherwise, yes, I do
say something about his mom.
Headlights.
You're good.
yeah. But you expect him to talk about your mom too, though.
Oh yeah. No, he will.
Yeah, 100%. If he didn't already do it beforehand, on that. But no. Anyways, I appreciate. We're trying this out. It's kind of new. We're getting there. We're eventually going to go live sometimes. Me and Jeremy kind of popped on live on YouTube. Monday this week. I don't remember.
Sunday.
We popped on just kind of a tester, kind of give a teaser of what was to come this week, and just testing the waters to see how it goes, and get the kinks out before we officially launch everything and launch our where we can do super chats and all that kind of stuff. Which hopefully those people will participate in that too as well. So that's good stuff. Again, thanks to Deanna for coming on last week and spending about an hour with us. That was awesome. Great interview. Go back and check it out on our audio platforms as well as on YouTube. And then shout out to Grayson Waller for coming on bonus episode we did today. it aired yesterday, but bonus episode. I said, wait a minute, hold on. We did it today. When you're watching this, it aired yesterday. There we go. I said that backwards, but you understood.
It's just the Grayson Waller effect, I get, just in case. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It
so
affects your brain.
it
Yeah,
does.
that tends to happen.
It
Grayson,
does.
right?
Yeah, that effect. Yeah. But no, it was a great interview. Fun little stuff we did with him. And go back and check that out if you haven't seen it already. But thank you to him for spending some time, and can't wait to see what he has to bring to SmackDown here in Louisville. It's going to be August 25th at the KFC Yum Center. So those in the area, the surrounding areas, get yourself tickets at Ticketmaster.com. I mean, he said there were like as low as $20 you get to see a superstar like Grayson Waller. That's pretty amazing for only $20. I mean, that's almost as much as an OVW, or that's just a little bit more than an OVW ticket. So it's not bad, And you see tomorrow's.
If you look up in the suites and see us, that's more than enough value to that ticket.
So by us, you mean us, right, Jeremy?
Well, yeah. Us.
You on the top row.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that might have been an invite. I was just checking.
It still might be. I do have flaky friends, so trust me. I've been thinking about this for a while. You two are first on my standby if it materializes, which 9 out of 10 times it does. But I got stuck with Daniel. That wasn't like I invited him and left y'all out. I invited the rest of his party, and they were like, "Well, invite Daniel too." And I was like, "Okay, if I have to."
Well, but Daniel will be in Toronto, so Daniel really and unfortunately Daniel doesn't make appearances for other companies yet. I guess maybe the Forbidden Door is not always open. Maybe it will be open. Who knows? Maybe it'll open and I'll come right through it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You never know.
We'll see. Again, if I have extra tickets, they're absolutely yours.
Why, thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome. I'm a very generous guy.
We'll get out of the bottom row someday.
Get down to the bottom row.
I love when Daniel sends these little private chats with the wrestling lingo. Like we don't know that what's going on, but shooting you, brother. I guess I don't know.
So what's interesting is looking up SmackDown. It made me wonder. I asked this question. Me and Jeremy, after we got to talking, after we talked with Grayson, we kind of like we're done recording, and Jeremy was kind of chit chatting about the interview. I was kind of thinking about all the superstars going to be there, and it made me wonder, like, will Roman Reigns and the Usos and like I call it the Bloodline, and it was like, is it still the Bloodline? Like, who is going to be there from that crew? Because I was trying to advertise it in the in the notes and like put who's superstars are going to be there, and I'm like, I put their names in there, but it makes me wonder, are they going to be there or not? I'm curious now.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how this Friday's SmackDown shakes up. If we have anybody from the Bloodline, even Solo. I mean, we have Paul Heyman that may be there. If no Jimmy, no Jay, no Roman.
Well, Jay quit, so he's gone. We'll talk about somebody else who apparently is gone from WWE here in a little bit. But yeah, so I mean, maybe Jimmy will be there, maybe Roman, maybe just Jimmy and Solo. Of course you have Heyman, and so it's gonna be. I'm curious to see what they do with that SmackDown. And guys, we didn't really advertise this before. I don't think we said this before on the show, but I noticed that on the Thursday, the 24th. Now I know we have OVW that night, so we'll be preoccupied. But the Undertaker is going to be in town doing his dead man. What do you call it?
The one-man show.
The one dead man show or whatever. The one dead man show, whatever it's called. Yeah, he's going to be doing that the Thursday night. It's interesting that he comes and does that on a Thursday night before SmackDown, because I get it, but I feel like it's normally a pay-per-view kind of weekend thing.
Not only is it normally a pay-per-view, it's normally one of the big four he does. I cannot recall him doing one out of season of the Big Four.
No, I think he did one.
He did one
What
at
was?
Money in the Bank. He did one before Money in the Bank. But I mean, some other than the huge pay-per-views, I don't ever recall him doing these. Like you said, especially for a SmackDown show. So that's intrigued me from day one. I wanted to go to that, but then I saw the ticket prices, and I was like, I'll just go to the show and go to SmackDown Friday night instead. I would not have been able to afford to do both. But
And it's going to be quite a busy day, too, because I don't know if you saw this, but that same day, August the 24th, from 3 to 6 at the Kentucky State Fair with WAMZ, the Street Profits will be meeting and greeting fans there at the Kentucky State Fair on that Thursday as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is going to be it is going to be a very busy. That's on the Thursday, so that Thursday is they're there, and then that night is Undertaker, and then we've got OVW. We got OVW that night, and then come Friday, it's SmackDown. Wow, and then, and then that weekend, it's a pretty big weekend for AEW and Impact because AEW's got All In London, and Impact's got Emergence in Toronto. But you will be able to watch both because Emergence is going to be, the normal time, prime time, where I believe All In is going to be like a 3:00 start time or something.
Noon.
Or
it's noon.
Noon. That's right, noon. Yeah, sorry, noon. So you'll be able to watch both. So we're not really competing against one another, which is a good thing for wrestling fans and for us.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Eric, because I can remember growing up every year there were 2 or 3 days where they brought the WWF guys in to do meet and greets and autographs and stuff, and that was like one of the only times of the year. It may have been the only time of the year they brought a house show back in the day to Louisville. We'd have the fair. We'd always know that WWF was going to be at the fair that week, and they'd have meet and greets. That, and I think Carl Casper's Custom Autumn
Carl
show.
Casper, that's what I was going to say. Yeah,
Carl Casper always had a wrestler or two.
One for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I worked a couple of them. They always had like 3 different options for that, but the fair did too. So I'm glad they brought that back around because I kind of caught when there was going to be a meet and greet, but I didn't know who it was going to be. So are they the Street Profits? Or are they the New Hurt Business? I don't know what we refer to them as.
Street Profits is what they're being billed as, but we will see.
Okay. We'll do that.
Do you know? Fun fact: do you know who the last Carl Casper Auto Show WWE superstar was that came in and did the last one they did here, and who the last person was?
Rey Mysterio?
It was not. No, it was Daniel Bryan. Now, formerly known as Daniel Bryan. And then the year before that, it was Seth Rollins. So the Money in the Bank winner, Seth Rollins, the architect. So yeah, that's actually, I think Charlotte Flair was involved the same year as Seth Rollins too. It was like both of them.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Bryan was the final one. I think Mick Foley was there too, but I feel like he's always there. Yeah, Daniel Bryan was the actual final one. And it's interesting to I remember that, like I said, them doing that, which is funny because they quit doing a lot of those signings, and for a while there they did just like certain Comic Cons only. And then they finally feel like this past year or so have gotten back into doing that type of stuff, where they're at Cricket and they're at all these other places where they're not at just a Comic Con anymore. So I think that's
here's another thing. We talked about our personal experiences, back in the day, a couple episodes ago. Can you remember any other just interesting wrestler meet and greets? Well, it doesn't have to be WWE, but any wrestler meet and greets that you've done over the years, or weird places maybe that people were signing autographs?
Yeah, big show in the middle of the Thorntons. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've got a couple actually. I met Stan Lane in a Walmart in Louisville, along with a Koloff that was not Ivan or Nikita, who was like part of a regional federation. But Stan Lane was like in the middle of a Walmart, and Another one, I met Bret Hart at a bookstore when his book came out in Louisville.
Wow.
And so that was kind of cool too. And Hillbilly Jim at Roadrunner Video. Yeah.
My very first meetup and actual first WWE live event was King of the Ring 96. My sister took me to my first event and to my first autograph meetup, if you will. And it was for Undertaker and Paul Bearer at a flea market in Milwaukee the night before King of the Ring 96. So that will always stand out to me. We do have a picture outside next to the life-size Undertaker cardboard cutout when I was a teenager. So I got to dig for that. I'll have to show that to y'all someday.
Did you go to King of the Ring 96?
Yeah, that was my first ever like live event.
Wow.
What an event to be at. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
I know.
And then I'm still curious, like how far is the hospital from the venue? Because apparently that Stone Cold literally went to the hospital to get stitched up and came back. So I feel like he remembered that wrong, but then like it's been told so many times that I mean, is it one of those phantom truths, or is it actually could it really happen? Is it really, like Louisville Gardens and there's a hospital that technically is a few blocks away, so it could be done, but it you would have to have police escort to get through, make that happen. But
And that's a Sunday night in Milwaukee. The roads aren't too busy. You'll be all right.
Interesting.
But I also recall then Shawn Michaels at a Piggly Wiggly grocery store, Buff Bagwell, Sting, just stuff from back in the day. But the first ever was Taker and Paul Bearer.
Wow. Okay.
I would say for me, saw Kevin Owens at a cricket here in Louisville a couple years ago. Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross were having dinner at Steak and Shake after wrestling. One time.
Seems on brand.
Yeah. Well, and my dad would not let me and my brother go over and talk to them. He's like, they're trying to enjoy their meal. Let them enjoy their meal. But Dad, everybody else is surrounding them. Well, everybody but y'all are surrounding them. And then a guy named Flex Cabana, I was in the stands at the Gardens, and he came over to talk to me and a couple of my buddies. He had recognized us from U of L, and he came over and talked to us, and people started coming over and getting his autograph.
It's sad.
Did you smell what he was cooking?
I didn't.
It's sad. It's sad that Flex Cabana guy never amounted to anything,
The funniest part about that is I'm a pretty good judge of talent and everything, and I just didn't know who he was. If I'd have known who he was, I wouldn't have acted the same way. But I kind of
you really missed the ball on KTD though. I'm just gonna let you know.
No, he's still a legend in my mind. But with Flex, as you will, he come up and talk to us, and I kind of brushed him. I was, oh, okay, yeah. And at the end of the conversation, he's like, I'm debuting in Survivor Series next week. Oh, cool, yeah. That happens all the time. WWF stars debut in the Survivor Series all the time. And then he leaves. I turn around to my brother. I was like, okay, yeah, we're going to see that guy again. Sure enough, we're at my grandma's because we went there for Thanksgiving every year. He comes out, and my jaw just dropped. I looked at my brother. I was like, he wasn't lying to us. He wasn't. And I never saw him at the U of L weight room again. Used to run into him there all the time. But that's probably my Stone Cold ran into him at a doctor's office one time. And that's about it. They weren't doing a meet and greet there, but
yeah.
Those are huge, though. I mean, Rock and Austin, my favorite feud of all time, and you just kind of told a story about how that came together, that long-term storytelling, huh?
How do I forget the greatest of all time, Ric Flair, running into him?
Oh yeah,
here at the Royal Rumble, we were going down
St. Louis. Yeah,
I was going down to grab me a water before I went to bed, and he's just him and Eric Bischoff both just sitting there. Conrad was there as well, and it was a good time. Daniel blamed me for Rick getting divorced, but other than that, it was a great time.
I mean, I don't know really what's going on there because he's kind of still with Wendy. That's right, Wendy. He's kind of still with Wendy, and then not. I don't know.
Story of his life, right?
Yeah, they've been on and off again for years, right? For like 100 years. I don't know.
I mean, it goes all the way back to the Flair for the Gold with Fifi the Maid, right?
Yeah. Holy cow. I don't know, but whatever, man. Rick is the man. We talked about him on the podcast today. Well, as you heard with Grayson Waller, and he got to play the role of Ric Flair in the NBC's Young Rock, and we talked a little bit about that. It was pretty cool to hear his perspective on playing Ric Flair, and then he said he finally got to tell Flair, as you heard, at WrestleMania this past year. So like. It's wild to think that someone like that who's been in the industry for a little bit, been signed for a couple of years, and probably obviously have seen his daughter around or whatever, but like legit got to work or got to finally meet him. Like just recently. It's like, man, it's kind of wild. And that was probably to him, he made it seem like it was a big, cool moment to finally get to meet Ric Flair and at the hotel bar and talk to him or whatever. It's like even those guys that are in the business that are superstars right now, Jeremy's favorite wrestler, this week at least, is that he actually marked out himself and does fanboy stuff for certain wrestlers like we would do if we ran into Ric Flair at the hotel bar.
I literally did not mark out for Ric Flair. I went and sat in the corner and waited for him to stop talking to other people, and then went over and said hi to him.
I didn't say you did. I said like we would.
Okay, my bad. I thought you said I marked. I don't like. I've met enough. Like, I mean, I grew up around Muhammad Ali. Like, why would I ever mark out over anybody? Like that. That's the greatest of all time. So, I don't normally like. I treat
some would call the greatest of all time. I still think there's somebody else that's the greatest of all time. That's okay.
You don't have to bite my ear off about it. I think Muhammad's the best. You have your own opinion.
You think who's the best?
Muhammad. Cassius Clay.
Muhammad Ali. Yeah, that's the greatest boxer of all time.
Mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
His son watches our show all the time. So.
I love that movie. No, I mean I was talking about Ric Flair. Some say is the greatest of all time. That's what I was talking about.
For sure.
But I don't think he is.
I don't either.
No. Really? Okay. I thought. All right. Eric, what do you say? You think he's the greatest of all time? He's definitely in the discussion. He's
top
definitely 100%. He's top 3 maybe even of all time.
Top 5. I mean, it's as far as my favorites, who's most important to the business, who's the best in ring. There's a lot of different arguments there. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go with it. But either way, I think Flair's probably top 5 no matter what. No matter which one you go to. You know what I mean?
Yep. Linda?
I would agree with Eric. It put me on the spot. I couldn't tell you who I think is the GOAT, but definitely Rick being quite the influence of the industry. Definitely, I would say top 3 as well.
So it's a lot of Eric made a good point, and this is another discussion we were going to go with. I don't know what brought us there, but anyways, it's one of those things where yes, there's work rate, there's being a worker in the ring, what you can do, but then there's like drawing power. Now Ric Flair did draw too as well, so there's that, and then there's just like, you can go with the whole like no matter who you're in the ring with, you made them, you had a great match with that you make somebody look like $1 million because you're so good, But there's many like that. You can throw in Edge, Christian, Randy Orton, things like that too. They may not be greatest of all time, but they're definitely some of the best. Yeah, it's just interesting. I mean, it's you have your Hulk Hogan people, you have your Ric Flair people, you have your Shawn Michaels people.
Shawn Michaels, yeah.
You have your Bret Hart people.
Stone Cold.
You have
Rock.
your Stone Cold people, Rock people.
Cena.
And you have your Cena.
Don't forget MJF. You have your MJF people.
You have your MJF people.
You have your Jerry Lawler people.
I was getting ready to say that. You have your Jerry the King Lawler people. Which, by the way, that for a long time, up until probably maybe the last 10 years, there wasn't a single WWE champion that didn't want to wrestle Jerry the King Lawler. Like at one time, even a John Cena had a match with Jerry the King Lawler. So like it's just amazing how many people he actually wrestled and worked. Yeah, have you ever looked up his championships? By the way, Jerry Lawler's, world titles he had. World titles, he had a small amount because a lot of companies didn't call him the world title. But as far as championships, I mean, he has like 178 or something crazy. Like it's wild.
I
It's
gotta say
wild.
that about the GOAT discussion. It depends on eras too, because currently, who comes to mind? Roman Reigns.
True, but John Cena also currently too. If you think
Yeah,
about as coming out of his era into another era, but yeah, Roman, but
Oh no! I'm sorry.
Jericho.
I have to interrupt just for a second.
Jericho, yes, Jericho for sure.
Jericho for sure, but Roman is on one heck of a run. But he is there. He has done nothing in the ring other than being assisted by his family that would make him a top 25 wrestler of all time for me. I mean, y'all are all entitled to your opinions, and that's not just the old hate for Roman coming out. I know it's been hidden for a while. That's just he doesn't do anything great.
So you're saying he has like 3 or 4 other people around him when he does things, right?
Yeah, see, and again, we're going into different discussions on what's your criteria, but that's like 4 different podcasts.
It is. It is.
Daniel,
for sure.
To your point, Jerry Lawler was the AWA Southern Heavyweight Champion 58 times. He was a 10-time Southern Tag Team Champion, 1-time AWA World Heavyweight Champion, and a 2-time AWA World Tag Team Champion. And that's not even counting all the times from the other CWA Championship Wrestling.
USWA Unified title.
Yeah.
See, the thing was the Unified title that was the AWA World Championship and what was kind of considered a World Championship, the World Class World Championship, combining. But then after it combined, like it wasn't a world title anymore because like AWA kind of took it back and put it on Zbyszko, and then like World Class folded. So, but like at the one time he had 2 world titles and then was never a world champion again after that.
Yeah, he's also recognized in the USWA as a 28-time Unified World Heavyweight Champion and a 2-time just regular heavyweight champion. So he's definitely one of the greatest of all time. I don't think anybody can argue that.
No, yeah, for 100% he is. And he has the greatest feud of all time that launched all these feuds we're seeing today that I think were so mainstream and cool. It's Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Yep. That feud alone is what brings in your Logan Pauls and your Bad Bunnies and your, David Arquettes and, just thinking of great champions. I love David Arquette, but not for that reason. But yeah, it's just, those are, it's good discussion, as far as that goes. But then you look at money, who drew the most money, and you can say, well, maybe Hogan's to go, then maybe Austin, then Cena, or Rock. But I feel like Cena drew more than Rock, and Steve drew more than Rock because Rock was in the middle of with Steve. Steve left. Rock had a little bit, then Rock left, and then it became Cena's thing. But Cena also needed Rock, Austin. They all needed your Triple H's. They needed their Undertakers. They needed their Kurt Angles, Edge, Mick Foley. They needed those guys in order to. Steve Austin needed Vince McMahon, but they needed those guys in order to to have a dancing partner with to be able to make those money too. So, and that's why a lot of those guys are considered top. It's hard. It's all subjective, right? Of who the greatest of all time is or who the best. We all can probably kind of form a list people, and then kind of based on our list say, okay, we all agree that Shawn Michaels is in our top 5, so Shawn is probably definitely listed as one of the best. We all agree Ric Flair is in our top 5, and then go from there. I think that's kind of really the best way to do it, almost like a voting kind of way. You nominate. That's what they do in pro or college sports, right? Who's going to be the number 1 team this week? They vote for somebody, and depending on the number of votes from those writers, they get that. So
that's right. And it's important to remember that would come from a bunch of different people and not just one person who only likes wrestling in Japan. Just remember that. Everybody has their own opinion. Nobody's right or wrong.
we could all give our top 20 and maybe only 10 of them would be the same. So that just goes to show you, like you said, taste, variety, regions, just there's so many variables that go into that. And nobody's list is wrong. I mean, that's your 20 most important people were yours.
I
And
mean, I know
also,
you
nobody's
had
The
list is right.
page too.
No,
You
it's
can always
just-
go back and watch tape, but doesn't mean you have watched really everything you may have missed before your time.
It's true.
yeah, yeah.
True, because I haven't watched a lot of Bruno or anything like that, but I know he's, I know he drew a lot of money and sold out a lot of shows, but I'm not as familiar with Bruno Sammartino.
And there's nothing wrong with Jeremy having KTD on his top 20.
I do not have KTD on my top 20.
Hey, he is the valedictorian of the Harvard of Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
I guess so. Is it KTD the one that showed up at the wrong house?
Not only did he show up at the wrong house, he walked into this person's open garage and started talking to their child in the garage. That could have been a horrible situation. He said he walked up and said, "Is your daddy home? I'm here to record the show with them." Like, that could have been horrible.
This was before my time, but I think I get it because you used to record at your home studio,
Yeah.
Jeremy,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Makes
yeah.
sense.
Yes, we used to, and he was one of our first OVW guests at the time. Yeah, it's wow.
I'm here to see your daddy. What? I'm like, that could have been bad.
Could have been bad. Yeah, could have been bad. I like when we told that story to, was it Randy Royal? We told that story to,
Yeah.
or him, or
We told it to both Randy Royal and Randall Floyd.
Oh yeah, Randall Floyd. I remember
that guy.
Randall Floyd. I don't know. He was a up and coming superstar. I don't know what ever happened to him, but yeah, we told it to him. One of them, one or both of them, and they just not. They almost were shocked, but not shocked that it happened to KTD. We spent a lot of time talking about KTD. Why'd you bring him up, Jeremy?
You brought him. I didn't bring him up. You brought him up. He must be in the top 20.
Well, let me steer you right. So while we're talking about KTD and Floyd and Royal, all these guys that used to be a part of OVW, can we recap what happened last Thursday?
Please do. Let's talk about it.
The big one. Linda, you wanna start with what were your highlights of the big one?
Well, I mean, the show kicked off with the wedding of the century. So much happened there. Lots of revelations. Lots of surprises we didn't expect. But you and I, Eric, watched right there at ringside, and shock and awe.
Old Aaron Greider, who knew? Boy who lives in his mom's basement has a past. How about that? Katie, OMG.
I was just a little shocked. I think everybody was, but the more and more times that people kept speaking up, I'm just like, what is going on? Like, this guy can't even tie his shoes and can't even wear matching anything. But yet, and he barely counts to 3 when he refs. But somehow he manages to get all these women. I don't
know, but whether I don't. He claims it's not all true. I guess we'll see what happens. But Katie O.M. Gannon, oh my Gannon, published model as she claims, says that she's been married to him for 3 years. Crystal White, who is another beautiful woman, says she has 3 children with him. Layla Gray, Jada Stone, Tiffany Nieves, all claiming that he has come on to them. Yeah, interesting. Poor Freya.
Aaron and Freya no longer, as we saw Aaron go through the cake and through the table.
I really thought this was the wedding that was going to last in wrestling.
That was actually going to happen.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked myself that the wedding didn't go through. Because as much as I just was thinking for sure. I just thought this was going to last. I just thought you could just see it all over it. I mean, Although there has been some interesting things that Aaron has got himself into, but he's got himself out of it. That's what was so shocking to me. But he couldn't get himself out of this one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that table wasn't the only furniture that broke that night because that huge tables, ladders, and chairs match, that was insane. And Linda, you and I were like right in the middle of all of it. Daniel, you were right in the middle of all
I
of
was
it.
like, I was more in the middle
Yeah.
than you guys were.
Our
but,
our photographer Lloyd was right in the middle of it. Poor guy
Yeah.
got put through a table. Him and Aaron probably put up in a hotel room.
Hey, I saw
not hotel room,
Lloyd.
but hospital room together.
I saw Lloyd in a conversation with Daryl the Hammer Isaacs. So, um,
There you
I
go.
mean, me and Tony Gunn recently were out at a restaurant. He lost a bet to me, so he had to treat me to dinner. And Daryl the Hammer Isaacs came in there too, and we were kind of like, look, this Daryl. So um, interesting that
So he lost the bet, and his punishment was to go have dinner with you.
buy me dinner, buy me dinner. His punishment is to buy me dinner.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. It
Yeah.
sounded a different.
And
way.
I already know, when you think of Tony Gunn and Daniel Spencer, you probably think they were betting on some big sports game. No, I know what it is. And I'm not even, should I tell them?
I don't care.
Is Wordle.
Swirtle, yeah.
Wordle.
By the way, I got him right now. Beat. We play the 30. As we're recording this, I'm 28-20, and so he's about to owe me more dinner. So, yep.
How did we get from tables, ladders, and chairs to Wordle? I don't know.
I don't
Anyway.
Anyways.
But anyway, Tony Gunn was a part of that huge match. His team coming out the winner, along with Cash Flow and Cal Hero, Luscious Lawrence, and Omar Amir. And what a match that was, taking down the faction. Looks like the faction, maybe a little tension between EC3, Jesse Goddard's. We'll see what happens this week at OVW TV. Also, still the women's champion, Hollywood Haley J. New champion, once again, two-time Kentucky heavyweight champion, Crixus. So, and Doug Basham returns after being attacked earlier in the day to help his team of the Outrunners beat the Destroyers with Josh Ashcraft. So it was a big show. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. It's free. It's on Fight TV. Go check it out.
Yeah, check it out. It's the next show coming up is Heat Wave, right?
That would be
Hard
reset.
Hard
Close,
reset.
though. You were
I don't
close.
know. Where did I get Heat Wave from?
NXT.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh,
ECW.
Yeah. Is it NXT Heat Wave? That's what I saw. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what it was.
that's
Yeah.
next week. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I knew there was
Hard-
something coming up that was
Hard reset is
Reset.
coming up September the 9th from the day
That was
before.
a Saturday night special.
Saturday night special, yes.
Yeah.
But
Very
let's
nice
see what
special.
else leads up. Of course, every Thursday night live at Davis Arena.
Yes,
Yeah.
be there. This this is airing tonight, and then every Thursday, unless and then I'm excited because I think in the next few days or weeks or so, next few days, we're gonna have we've teased it on the show. We're gonna be able to have a major announcement. We're gonna be able to talk about. And I'm excited for that too as well. So that's all we can say right now. But
Yeah, we said it was this week. That was just a tease. It was a Dixie Carter tease. It's actually going to be next week, but we can tell you it is happening next week at least. That's what we've been.
And it's not the re-signing of Jesse Goddard's or anything. I promise you.
No.
It's more than that.
This actually will shake the professional wrestling core more than some of her announcements did.
I think so.
I mean, for real.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think you're right.
It's time to shake things up.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's I'm pretty excited for what's to come. So, and I'm excited for what we're doing here at Ringside. I don't know why it took us 7 seasons to go video. Why? What? Why did we wait this long? I'm so confused.
Because nobody wants to see your face. That's probably the best, or mine either.
Well, and me and Jeremy had to slim down. We had to get looking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's all right.
That too, but mostly your face.
Yeah, I guess. But I do want to.
I love seeing your faces when we're talking. I know we could before, but just this format and seeing all at once, I like it.
That's the first. By the way, that's the first time I've ever in my life done that. So
Heart.
yeah,
That's not true. He's done it
Throwing
once
up
before.
the heart.
He's done it once before when he saw Kevin Owens at cricket. So I will say this is I'm excited for this video format, and I'm more excited to listen. Yes, we get to see each other and talk to each other, but I'm excited to eventually be able to hear from you guys that are watching out there. Is that we're going to have live interaction when we do eventually take it live and record it on some evenings. That's what I'm looking forward to and excited for. I think that's going to be fun, and we're going to get to hear everyone's opinions of, when we talk about the greatest of all time and who is it, Ric Flair, is it Shawn Michaels, is it Hulk Hogan, is it Stone Cold, and others can chime in, and we can kind of like determine based on the number of votes who might be the greatest. We can do that live, and that'll be kind of cool, and that's something that I can't wait to be a part of when we eventually do that part, launch that portion. So pretty exciting there.
We've reminisced a lot tonight, Daniel, but who could forget in the early days of Ringside Podcast when we had our call-in line? That was a pretty prehistoric at this point idea, but it was amazing at the time. We would give out the phone number, invite people who are listening to call in and give us their opinion, and Daniel would read them off the next week. That was a good time too. So yeah, we are evolving.
Oh, we would play them, not just read them. We would play them.
That's true. That's right. We did play them. Yeah. I also am glad of how much we have evolved, how much we've changed for the better over the last 7 years. It's been a crazy ride. I mean, when we started this, none of us were affiliated with OVW. I still am not. But like that's how far we've come. Like we literally built this from the ground up, and I'm proud of everybody, even Daniel, I guess.
Absolutely, and we do want to give a shout out for people that's helped us along the way, like Collar and Elbow. When you go to collarandelbowbrand.com, use promo code RINGSIDE, all capital letters. You save 10%, and you help the Ringside Podcast out in the process. That's right. You get the best wrestling apparel there is today. I'm wearing it right now. Collar and Elbow working stiff shirt. Because that's what you do, brother. You work stiff. And again, it's the best wrestling apparel there is today. collarandelbowbrand.com. Use promo code RINGSIDE and you save 10%. Get yours today, right before Christmas, and get ahead of the game and get your Christmas presents out of the way. I mean, it's way early, but you'll be done. You'll be happy when you get it out of the way.
It'll come before you know it, really.
I'm just glad you didn't segue from working stiff into one of our other sponsors. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can. And
do it.
If you're going to be working stiff, then you got to make sure you're nice and smooth before you get there. You know what I'm talking about? Support for the Ringside Podcast brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and you can join over 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code referee at manscaped.com. Of course, if you're doing the math, that's about 16 million balls, whether you're working stiff or not. You want to make sure that your decorations are all nicely put up, if you know what I mean. So the Performance Package 4.0 has arrived. You got the mower, the 4.0, the trimmer, and the Weed Whacker ear, nose, hair trimmer. That comes with it. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Toner, Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. That's called the Shed, because where else would you keep all your tools, right? But anyway, check it out. And also, they've got the wonderful beard trimmer that Daniel and I are both big fans of. All of the, normally you got a bag full of different guards to put on. You don't do it with the beard trimmer, because the beard trimmer from Manscaped, you just simply turn the dial to whatever length that you want and just mow away right on the face to whatever length that you like the most. And there you go. So definitely check out manscaped.com. And when you do that, put in the code referee, 20% off and free shipping right now. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools at manscaped.com.
And you know what? The products of Manscaped, you will stay safe. However, there's a chance you might get hurt doing any other everyday activities, whether you're walking, whether you're at work, whether you're sitting, whether you're in the wrestling ring. ProWrestlingInsurance.com, like Daniel is sporting right there in that lovely zip up hoodie. Find out how you can be covered and you can get a check written out to you if you get hurt anytime, anywhere. You can visit ProWrestlingInsurance.com and talk to our friend Chris. He can fill you in about how you can have affordable coverage as low as $8 a month to make sure you are covered if anything happens. And again, it could be inside the ring, outside the ring, because that coverage is available for everybody. So again, ProWrestlingInsurance.com. Speak to Chris and let him know we sent you.
Awesome. And I see Daniel has disappeared.
Actually, that was I was going to tell him that was his when he was turned around and we couldn't see his face. That was the best shot of him we've ever had.
Well, I know he's back, and I know what he's back with, right?
Yeah. So look, I'm sorry. This time you have to have some more visual things for this one right here. One more shout out to our newest partner and sponsor to the Ringside Podcast, and that is the one and only Cornbread Hemp. And these right here, get yourself some CBD gummies right here. These are amazing. Look, it's legal, 100% legal, and it's good health for you. Helps you relax, sleep, your anxiety, all those things you may be struggling with right there. Plus, many more products on their website. But hey, right now, if you go there and you go make an order, use promo code Ringside. Promo code Ringside. You save 15% on your order. Why not? Hey, have a little relaxed time, feel good, and know that you save money in the process. So go to cornbreadhemp.com, use promo code Ringside, get yourself some CBD gummies, and they have other products too, many more products than just these.
And I'm here to tell you, they're no joke as far as the sleeping goes, because I was a little restless Friday night, and we saw them, of course, at the big one. They were there with a couple samples. I had half of one Friday night. My wife had half of one. I said, hopefully I can sleep good. Before I even got out of my chair, boom, I was out, and she had to nudge me you need to go to bed. I'm like, no, I'm fine right where I am. It was awesome. So thank you to our friends at Cornbread, which was developed right here in Kentucky.
Yes, absolutely. So
shout out to Sarah from Cornbread. She was on site at Davis Arena last week.
Yeah, Sarah and Jim both. Good to see both of them. Yeah.
Sarah's a fan of this show and a fan of us. So thank you so much for the partnership, and we're excited for this new venture. And one of our posts got banned from Instagram, but hey, I put it right back up. So it's not gonna. I guess it's that leaf. I don't know, something about that leaf. Anyways, it's legal, guys, and it helps you, and it's good stuff. But I also got the balm, the
muscle balm,
muscle balm, yeah. And I've been having a little back issue too. I wrote that on there. Oh man, it's already made a big difference in the last couple of days. So it is great products. Definitely check them out. So thank you guys for being on board with us. And we're looking forward to our future partnership for the next coming months. So there you go. All right, Jeremy, you got anything you want to say? Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to check. I was making sure, which I am, that I was following the YouTube channel. Some stuff we'll talk about off camera that I'll let you know about it. That I don't know if you realize or not, but yeah, make sure you're supporting us and following us and doing what you're doing. We will, as Daniel said, we're going to start doing live ones sometime in the future. We got they have. I'm still not privy to the huge announcement we're going to be making next week. I've not been told directly. I think I have an idea of what it is. And then we're going to have one of the best interviews that we've had in a long time. Is that BEST? Best next week. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, I think next week we're going to have an awesome, how you spell it, GUEST guest on the show. And that's going to be pretty cool to have. And looking forward to that. And then we still got Cody Deaner down the pipeline from Impact Wrestling. We still got some other things down the pipeline. We still got a big announcement. I don't know when we're going to make the announcement, but our 200th episode, we're at 180 right now. I mean, we're probably 190 if you count all the bonus shows we do with WWE Superstars, but we're officially counting this one as 180. So we got 20 more to go, and man, we got a pretty freaking cool guest. And I can't wait for when we officially announce that, or if they're going to announce it, maybe they do it on themselves. So we'll see.
Well, before we get out of here, there is something that we because we got all caught up talking about other things. There's two WWE superstars or former superstars that we should probably talk about real quick because Jey Uso, Deuces, he's out, and number two, Lacey Evans, or should we say Macy?
Yes, it was brought to all of our attention, the world's attention, that Lacey Evans has departed from WWE. We don't know if that's I haven't heard if that was she asked for her release or they just released her, whatever that may be. But great talent, sweet person. I think I've talked about it on this show before. When I was an extra, one of the times I was an extra, she was so friendly to us extras, and like we were sitting in the catering, and she's like, "Hey," she told me to like me and one of the other ones sit right here with me, and then we sat down and she just asked us where we're from, what we've done, how long we've been in the business, like was really interested in us. And then like we were talking to her, and it was just one of the coolest people ever. And those who've done extra work know that even if it's with me at Impact, or there's certain rules and things, and you kind of have to like, you don't just get to walk up and just talk to any superstar. So the fact that they come out and grab you and do that with you, it was pretty special and amazing. And then like I overheard her talking about their new direction of where she was going with her character with one of the writers, which was pretty cool. Then I remember seeing it later and was like, I remember she was talking about that, and in the catering or whatever. So she's a really sweet girl. And my good friend Dewey Larson, who I didn't have on the show sometime, but Dewey, who also helps with production at Impact and does the timekeeper stuff. He's good friends with her. He's done a lot of pinups for her and stuff like that. So I'm shocked, but at the same time, I know she's going to be okay, and sky's the limit for her. And who knows, maybe we might see her pop up in another organization soon. You never know.
Well, it looks like I think it was her contract running up. I think that's the best that I could see, is that they just both kind of decided they were going to let it run out. She's going to start her own, or she has started her own cafe, it looks like. Plus she has, her two kids, and so maybe she'll pop back up, but it was a weird run for her. It really was. She had that Southern Belle run, and then after that just couldn't find the right character for her. So I hope she's happy, and it looks like she is if you look at her social media. So best to her.
Well,
it's one of my favorites, and the Nasties, like I just absolutely love that.
I like the Southern Belle gimmick. I don't know why they ever transition away from that, but I think I kind of do. I think because Glow kind of was doing the same thing. But anyways, I like that gimmick. I think it works. I think it would work if she brought that back to any other company, whether it's any other company. There's two other ones out there, right? That are, well, there's more than that. There's like 4 of them that are on TV, but yeah, and so we'll see what happens with her. Best of luck for sure. And it's weird how they lately, like with Eric Young and some of these, and there's been a few other ones, they haven't done the typical so and so's been released, we wish them the best on the future endeavors. It's kind of like they've been released and like they leave it up to Sean Ross Sapp or Dave Meltzer or whoever else or Mike Johnson to report it. It's like they don't send out the blast anymore. I wonder what changed that. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's a Triple H thing. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to let them go, and we don't need to make an announcement. I mean, like, it's kind of a like a politically correct thing to do, right? Not announce that somebody got fired.
Yeah.
I think it was always WWE just trying to control all of it. You know what I mean? It's like with the names and personalities and all the IP, and then they just want to control how it ends too. I mean, that's just part of it. I get it, but But I kind of like it better when they don't make that announcement.
Yeah, same. I kind of same. Yeah, I like that too. I just it's it doesn't matter really, right? As long as what matters is that those people bounce back and go somewhere else and do their thing and they're happy.
But that being said, they moved Jay to the alumni page. That was the big news.
Yeah, the Jay's gone. I don't know. I'm curious what why he decides to leave and where he's going to go next. But yeah, um, it's going to be an interesting world the next couple of weeks at on SmackDown to see what is happening with that whole family. And
Bottom of the third, right, Jeremy?
Yes, sir. Bottom of the third. Just based on who you asked, Kurt Angle seems to think we're in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, I mean, we was at the bottom of the third at SummerSlam. Should we now be at the top of the fourth?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I say we're at least at the top of the fourth. But these are long innings if we're just now at the bottom of the third. So, they're not going by quickly. So we'll see on that. Yeah, and Impact's got we got the Multiverse coming up this weekend, Multiverse United 2 in Philly with New Japan. It's going to be a fun show. Check it out on Fight TV. Order that if you're not in the Philadelphia area. If you are in Philly, come by. There's still tickets available. It seems not very many, but still some. Following weekend, we talk about All In. We'll be on. We'll have a show until then, but we got All In, and then we've got and then after All In, we got Emergence that same day, and then leading into that, we've got I think the same weekend. We've got Impact Victory Road, followed by the Impact 1000 episode. And that same day of Impact 1000 being recorded is going to also be OVW's
Hard
reset. And then, yeah,
so
we've
Payback
got.
would be September 2nd.
Oh, Payback is September 2nd. Yes. Payback September 2nd. Where's that at? Is that in
Pittsburgh, right?
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we got Payback as well. So we got a lot of wrestling coming up in the next 3 weeks.
We do, yeah.
Awesome. Guys, any last? I mean, this is kind of a show. We just kind of talked about a little bit of everything, and we had something else planned for the night, and we had to kind of wait on that. So, yeah, so we just kind of went for it here, right? just talked about what popped in our mind. KTD, apparently.
These are fun though. I mean, it's great to have an agenda, but it's even better when we just call it in the ring, if you will.
Ooh, look at that. She ripped Rogers just now. Yes, we are the official podcast of OVW, Jeremy. We are.
Just make sure everybody saw that. Everybody.
Any final thoughts, guys, before we close up? Hopes, dreams, wants?
No, just keep supporting us. Keep
podcast is too short for that.
Right. Amen. Guys, yes, thanks for listening. As always, you can find us all on the podcast avenues. Google, Spotify, which is our new host, so we appreciate Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or just go to ringsidepodcast.com. You can get us there. You can find us on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/@ringsidepodcast, subscribe to us so you get all of our live information, all of our live videos that go right there when we do pop, because Sunday we pop live, and you would have not known if you wouldn't subscribe. So subscribe us there, follow us there. You'll get the video versions of all of our shows now and some additional little things that might pop up. Oh, Jeremy, got a question?
Yes. Aren't we the Ringside Podcast on YouTube?
No, we're at Ringside Podcast on YouTube.
Where are we the Ringside Podcast at?
I was going to get into that. We're on the TikTok. We're at the Ringside Podcast on the TikTok. You can follow us on there, but you can follow us all on the other social media, the Twitter, X, the Threads, the Instagram, and Facebook at Ringside Podcast, TikTok at the Ringside Podcast, and individually on Twitter and Instagram, I'm at Daniel Spencer.
I'm at Jeremy _CSZ.
I'm at Linda K PWR and Linda K22. But you can find me and all my socials at lovely LindaK.com is seen right there.
And you can find me at Eric on the Air on Twitter or whatever, X, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. And also find me on Cameo. We are also on Cameo. Some of us. Linda, are you on Cameo?
It's happening.
Okay, good. It's happening. Yeah. And I'd love to leave you a message on Cameo as well.
Yeah, I'm on Cameo.
Go check that out.
So Cameo as well. If you have any dispute, you need a referee to resolve, or you just got you want me to do a dad joke, birthday shout out, whatever, hit me up on Cameo as well. Cameo.com/Daniel Spencer. TikTok, I'm at Real Daniel Spencer because apparently there was a fake one out there, so I became the real Daniel Spencer. So there you go. All right, guys.
I thought you were the fake one. You're the real one.
I'm the real one.
Amazing. Always these replica referees since 1988.
Yeah, well, you know. All right, guys. In the meantime, but between time.
Until next time, you can catch us ringside.
And KTD. Yeah. Hey, KTD's here.
Wrong house.
Yeah, and I want a pepperoni on my pizza.
See ya.